Hi there, Alan. How are you?
Good, thanks, Jack. How are you?
I am good. We're gonna wait. Let's see how many people join. We're
Yeah.
also live on a few different channels, testing a few different
Okay.
things, just
Are
to
you
see. Yeah,
are you using StreamYard for that?
I am using Restream for that. There's
Okay.
StreamYard and there's Restream. I've tried both. Um,
Okay.
I'm using Restream after a couple of years.
Right. Right. I must
Um,
look at that one. Yeah.
but let's see how it works.
Yeah.
I am live on Restream on four different channels.
Right.
Yeah.
Great.
Uh, it does have a much longer. It does give you more exposure. There's more long tail. People. I've seen people watching some of these videos after like a year, and they still comment. Watching
Yeah.
this now, it's still interesting, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So,
Jack,
yeah.
Jack,
Hi, Rajesh. You're right.
hi, hi. I've started watching your. I know you sent me a message on WhatsApp. I've
Yeah,
started watching. Was it season two first? Watch that and then go back to season one because you've got a
that
lot
is
of.
right. Yes, because it's
Yeah,
more updated. Remember, if I made a video which is season one, and that
yeah,
was, let's say, 2020 or 2021,
yeah.
problem
Lots
with those
changed.
videos is, yes, you do still learn quite a bit,
Mm.
but lots of things have changed as well. So some of the technical stuff may not work anymore purely because laws have changed, things have changed. So you
Okay.
want to watch first season two and
Yeah,
then go back to season one. Like I
I've
said, there's
started
still lots
already.
to learn.
Oh, they're really good videos. Really informative. Thank you.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's. I always tell people you'll probably learn well over 90% of what you need to learn if you really kind of focus and watch these 200 videos. I know it's 200 videos, it's 200 hours, but it's not a lot if you do an hour a day.
That's true. That's true. And if you want to be, like you said, build a property portfolio, be a successful entrepreneur, you need to make the time for it because otherwise,
I literally share the story. I remember the story. I'm going to share it on the live screen here. So one of my mentors back in the days, I took his training program. I watched a few videos, listened to some of the MP3 stuff. Back in those days, we used to have MP3 in the car. And I listened to some of it and went back to my mentor and said, I asked him a few questions. He goes, have you listened to all my MP3? And there was 100 and, if I can remember, 163 hours. I said, you don't expect me to do 163 hours of MP3. He goes, I'm not even answering one question of yours. He goes, unless you don't go and watch all of that, I'm not answering nothing. So I got a bit annoyed. I was like, okay, let me go back. I finished all the 163 hours. I went back and then I said to myself, I only got two questions. He goes, that's what I mean. He goes, if you don't put the work in, I am not going to put the work in for you. Okay.
absolutely.
And that's one of the biggest learning lessons. This is probably about 10 years ago. Okay. I can tell you the name of the person as well, Russell Brunson. Um,
Russell
he's good.
Brunson,
Russell
who did
Brunson, yes,
dot
he's
com secrets and all of
that
that.
is
Yeah.
right. Yes, he's pretty
ClickFunnels.
good. A lot of marketing stuff that I have learned personally is very, very good. Very
Ac-
expensive, I must say. Some of his coaching programs are very, very expensive. I mean,
Actually, it's funny
yeah,
you should say that. I
yeah,
met him a long time ago
you
in
did.
a church in Cambridge.
Hmm.
Russell Brunson, I think he was just beginning. Now he's ClickFunnels.
Yeah,
He's with Grant Cardone. He's got the whole thing gone.
yeah. Again, like I said, the challenge is that sometimes I mean, I remember paying $1,000 for one of his programs, which was only 4 hours, and I looked back. I was like, okay, yes, I learned good stuff, but was it worth $1,000? And that's a question I always ask. What are you getting real value? That's important. Anyway, so you know, that was just I'm gonna share with you stories, right? 2003, I went to a property seminar near Heathrow. And I went in and they started talking about buy to let. Now, buy to let back in 2003 was heavy. Like literally everyone in the country was investing in buy to let. So, I, I mean, they were selling a program back then was £2,000. Now, imagine 2003, £2,000. It's worth probably what, five, seven times more? I don't know, right? I'll let you make that guess, right? So I walked out, not paying for it, me being very arrogant and ignorant, thinking that I know this stuff. So I didn't pay for the program, but I did pay for the 1 day, which was, I think, 99 quid or whatever back then.
Do you
And
know
I
who
moved
the
out.
Did you know who the company was that was?
I actually don't remember. I don't remember. This
It
is
wasn't
21
Inside
years
Track,
ago.
was it?
I don't remember. It was 21 years ago.
Yeah.
So I came out thinking, I'm smart and I've not paid £2,000. If I had paid that £2,000, my portfolio would be worth probably 3 times more. Okay.
Absolutely.
So I didn't pay for it. I came out, I bought a buy-to-let property 2003 and thinking that I'm smart. I wasn't. Okay. Just to let you know, right? It was at best a medium investment, medium level investment. And I kept that property till about 2019, I think, if I can remember. And I sold it then. I made a decent profit. But like I said, at best, it was probably a medium level return on investment. Okay. And then I kept buying a few more buy-to-let properties through the journey till I got to a point where I was like, okay, let me take this a bit more, get a bit more in depth, right? Because it was 2008 that I did my mortgage course, and then I did a finance course, which means that I became a qualified financial advisor. And I was still buying buy-to-let properties while I was running a transport company, like executive taxi company, right? Providing, luxury cars, Bentleys, Rolls Royces, E-classes, S-classes to really, really high net worth individuals. I'm talking about literally the top 10%, like the top 10 listed companies of multiple different countries, UK, India, Dubai, States, Germany. We're providing literally services to celebrities and royal families and, like CEOs and chairmen of listed companies, right? Multi-billionaires. Most of these guys had properties in inner circle, like the inner Regent Street. I don't know if you guys know Regent's Park. In the inner circle of Regent's Park, most of these guys had properties there, right? And this was 2017 that I decided. I mean, 2014 when I sold my chauffeur company. It's only till 2017 that I started taking property full time. And one of the first things that happened while I was doing this, remember, I was still buying properties as a side hustle, like a buy-to-let. But I got involved with a very close friend of mine where he started a development. It was a 4 billion GDP development. We built practically, I became an investor on board. I also became operationally involved in the project. I was looking after most of the operational stuff behind the scene. Not the technical construction aspect, but more like the technical, more like the managerial aspect of the project, right? Legals, sales, marketing, websites. Back then it was Help to Buy. I got registered. We literally dealt with the whole process of, Help to Buy. It was literally new back then. Even the government department in and itself did not know what they were doing. We were going back and forth all the time. So I was quite heavily involved in the operations of that. But it was a 4 million GDP development, which was basically a large detached house, which we converted into 8 units. That's 6 flats and 2 semis. And that was one of the steep learning curves that I went through. After that, I did quite a few different refurb projects, and then ended up onto the commercial side of things, where we took on 4 hotels over a period of 12 months. And while all this was happening, right, one of the interesting things that happened, I'll take you back. I'm going to take the clock back so you can see through a bit more. So one of the interesting things that happened in my mid-20s, which was practically 2005, was I started to realize that the more I learned, the more money I was able to make, right? Just it almost felt like going from becoming, it's almost like from a person that felt like I knew everything, going through a slow learning curve and realizing that I know nothing. And then and then got into personal and professional development so heavily, right, that I started to realize I really know nothing. Okay, till I got to a point where I was reading a book a day, many days. Sometimes I'd read a book a week. I mean, that was the bare minimum. There was a week that I read about 5 different books in a single week. I'd just sit there and read, right? And not worry about money, not worry about anything. I can assure you that if you read a book a day, not a book a day, not a book a day is pretty difficult, right? That was me being very obsessed. But if you read a book a week, right? If you want to take away one thing from today's session, create the habit of reading every day and read 1 book a week. I can assure you that you look back 12 months later and you would have read at least 50 books. And I can almost say with 99.9% surety that you will double your income. Okay? I mean, no one can guarantee anything. Okay, I can't guarantee if you read the books and don't do the work. Okay, you still have to do the work. Okay, but you'll double your income. Okay, I was talking with a close friend. You know, he came around and was just chatting and just telling me a bit more about what he was doing, and I showed him my Audible library, which is 600 titles, and then I said to him, I said my physical book library stands at about 300-400 books. I remember when I started reading, I used to walk into the library, pick up 5 books, read them, take them back to the library. I probably read about a couple of 100 books like that in and out of the libraries. I even remember one of the chairmen of a listed company, right? The guy is one of the richest people in India. He saw me reading one of the books one day on creativity. And he said, you know, what are you reading? So I showed him the book and he called up his office and he ordered like 200 books and he gave it to his staff. And I got a call from a staff member. He goes, you know, you always give me trouble. Every time, you know, my chairman sees you, he ends up calling me to order books. What the hell are you doing? Okay. Now remember, this is, like I said, this is one of the richest men in India. So it's been a very interesting journey from that perspective. That look, it's all the work you put in, and I'm talking about smart work. I am not talking about hustling. I know a lot of people talk about hustling and going mad and, you know, hiring 1,000 people. Why do you want to hire 1,000 people? Why do you want to build a team of 1,000 people? What goes in the business has very little relevance to what comes out of the business. So the input has very little relevance to what's the output, right? So why do you want to hire 1,000 people? Why do you want to even hire 100 people? If you can get the output of 1,000 people from 10 people, why do you want the stress of hiring 1,000 people? Okay, so a lot of people don't learn this stuff, and they'll either learn it too late or they're already suffering. And so, I mean, unbelievable how many people I've come across that tell me they've been struggling for 5, 10, 20. I've had someone tell me they've been struggling for 20 years. 20 years. How can you struggle for 20 years and not pick up books to read? Okay, that is where your success lies. Okay, you read the books, you go and implement. You read your books, you go and implement. You take trainings, you go and implement. I shared with you a story about my mentor, right? The number of trainings I've taken in my life is like, I can't even, I don't think I can even count. I don't think I can actually go back and look at the number of trainings I've had, or the mentors I've had in my life, or the number of seminars that I've attended, right? Just I cannot even count. Okay. So why am I sharing this with you? Is your success simply depends on 4 skills. 4 skills: leadership, sales, that is your persuasion skills, your creativity skills, okay, and your technical skills of your business. So if you want to do property, your technical skills are learning where the deals are, how to find these deals, how to analyze those deals. This is your technical skills that you need to learn, right? That's all you need. And it is not rocket science. This can be learned in under well, if you're focused 6 months, in 12 months for sure. If you're not really focused at all, it might take you a lot longer, okay? But if you're focused 12 months, you can learn pretty much all of that stuff. And like I said, you could be making double the money that you're making right now. I mean, one of the things that I learned a long time ago was that if, let's say, you do a job and you're making, let's say, I don't know, let's say you're making 50 grand. If you start a business, you're going to build a business that's going to pay you 50 grand in 3 years, statistically proven, because your business is a reflection of your skills. So you build a business that's going to pay you your salary in 3 years. But now if you skill up, and now you skill up to a level where you can walk into a company and say, I want $500,000 salary. And the guy turns up and say, I'm not going to give you $500,000. And you know in your head, you're worth $500,000. You can walk away from that, start your own business, and 3 years, you will make $500,000. I will repeat that. If you're skilled up to make £1 million a year, you can build a business that's going to pay you £1 million in 3 years. It is statistically proven.
Is that $1 million in turnover or $1 million in profit?
No, $1 million in profits.
Oh, okay.
And if you're not skilled, let's say you're only skilled to make maybe 50 grand from a job, you're only going to make 50 grand when you start a business in 3 years. And that's 3 years, not 6 months, not 12 months. I repeat this, 3 years. This is statistically proven for those who think they can build a business in 6 months. Okay? You're just not going to. Okay? Unless you are the exception. I'm not talking about the exception. I'm talking about the rule. If you're the exception, please reach out to me. I'll probably hire you for whatever you're making or a little more. Okay? Or at least I'll offer you a job. Okay? So, or I'll do a collaboration with you. Maybe I'll do a JV with you. Something like that. Okay? So, going back to the subject of today's session, which is time freedom. Okay? Like I shared with you, I started buying a few properties. Back then I did a finance course, which meant that I got to know pretty much everything that is there to learn about property finance, right? So a lot of people, what they don't know is that a lot of what I do is what I call very, very creative finance leverage, and what you call arbitrage between how much I borrow the money for and where I invest and the arbitrage that I make in between. And the only reason I'm able to do that, and when I use the word I, please excuse me, it's not ego, none of that humility, is just contextual. When I say I, like literally I've learned the finance creative skills, which means that I can look at money that only maybe probably 3% of the people can look at money like that, okay? Like literally you learn to borrow money at, let's say you borrow money at 10% per annum, and you find a deal that's going to pay you 20%. You are on a winning streak because you're going to make 10% arbitrage, okay? And as long as you can scale that in a way where you keep delegating, okay, what tends to happen is that you will look back and let's say if you've invested a couple of £1 million and you're making even 5% arbitrage on a 2 million, that's 100 grand a year just in arbitrage. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about, please. If you're still struggling with my terminology, I don't know if there's another word for arbitrage. If there is, guys, please check on Google, write it in the chat box. I don't know if there's another word. It's arbitrage. It's the gap between how much you borrow the money for and how much money you make at the back of when you invest in a deal, right? Imagine if you borrowed a couple of million and you invested as arbitrage, even at 5%, I'm not even talking about 10%. If it's 10%, you could make 200 grand a year. That's passive, okay? That's what I do behind the scene. So when I was building my buy-to-let portfolio and it kept going up in capital appreciation, point where I was selling a few of my buy-to-let properties. I took that money. I started investing into some of the refurb projects that I was working on. I started investing into commercial property. And some of the deals that I worked on, like they were paying 45, 50% return on money invested. Raise your hand if you know what I'm saying, 40, 50% return on money invested, right? And what was happening was that I kept compounding that into leveraging into more commercial properties, allowing me, for those who don't know, and for those who already know, I have, for the past 14 months, I've been living in Delhi. Of the 14, I've lived 2 months in London. Of the 2 months, I spent 70% of my time with my family. Only 30% of the time I actually worked in London. And the 12 months of the 14, I've just been in Delhi working like an hour a day. I will let this settle in. I call that time freedom. Okay? I've been spending time with my family. I've been spending time with my kids, my mom. My dad passed away back in COVID 2020, early 2020. So I've got my mom, she's elderly, she needs a bit of care. So I spend time with her, I spend time with my kids. I work out every single day, having the best food of my life. And all this only happens because of the 4 skills that I shared with you earlier, okay? Now, like I said, I let that settle in because most people, like I said, don't realize that you don't need to make £1 million a year to have time freedom. First, most people overestimate what they can achieve in a year and underestimate what they can achieve in 5 or 10 years. And the second thing that tends to happen is that a lot of people think I need to make £1 million to be rich. The answer is no. You need to make an extra 100 grand a year on top of whatever you make to be very, very, very well off. Okay? Like if you're making 50 grand net passive income and you're making maybe 100 grand extra hustle money, you can live like a king. You don't need to make £1 million, guys. Okay? I'm not saying that you can't make £1 million. You can. I'm saying you don't need to make £1 million to live like a king. There's a difference. Okay? One of the deals I'll share with you so you can see through. Again, I'll quickly jump because I've shared this many times. We did a deal where we invested 20 grand on a planning gain deal and made 600 grand in profits. Okay, that's a planning gain deal on an option agreement, delayed completion, 24 months. We got the planning permission for 8 units on a single large detached house, which was demolished. And we ended up not actually developing it, but selling the option agreement and made 600 grand. Okay, we took that money, invested into more commercial stuff, and kept building more net rental passive income at the back of that. Okay, let that settle in. Okay, like I said, technical skills, planning gain, what most people get wrong. In fact, let's do one thing. Let's do something interesting. Okay, for those of you who don't know, we have Alan here. Let's do something interesting. He's the one I know is one of the most experienced here. Hi, Alan.
Hi, Jack.
All right, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What is your one big challenge besides finding investors? I already know that. Is there any other challenge?
The challenge is finding the right deals that are profitable enough. That there are loads of marginal deals or ones that just don't stack up, and you've got to sift through a lot of chaff to get to the wheat.
Rubbish here.
Yes,
yeah, no doubt.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so here is so guys. I will talk about this because you can see through a bit more, right? There's only 2 things when it comes to property, right? There's either the money or the deals.
Yeah.
There's nothing else, right?
Yeah.
As long as you know how to find the right deals, and as long as you know how to find investors, you can match these 2. And yes, it requires a bit more leadership skills, and persuasion skills to make a deal profitable.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, this is really at the core most two important things, right? And my observation is that it's not finding the investors that's the most challenging. It's actually matching it with the timing of the deal and the money.
Yeah.
Okay, so finding investors is not rocket science. Let me share with you how easy it is, right? Open your phone and check how many contacts do you have.
Mm-hmm.
Just tell one person, tell me, Alan, I can see you. Tell me how many contacts do you have in your phone?
I've probably got at least 100 on my phone.
All right, okay. So
Yeah.
100 isn't a big number.
No.
Let me open my phone and I'll show you how many contacts I have. All right, I've got 12,363.
Wow.
Let me just do this, right? Can everyone see that? 12636
Yeah. Mm.
or 12363, sorry. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Those 12,363 contacts. Let's say the 363 are personal contacts. I've got roughly about 12,000 professional contacts.
Mm.
There's actually a research done where they say that you can reach the prime minister or the president of any country in the world in a chain of 6. Okay? So you could be sitting anywhere in the world, and if let's say you have 100 contacts, that's really little, right? Most people have a bit more than that, but let's say you have 100 contacts. In those 100 contacts, with a chain of 6 people, you can actually reach Donald Trump, right?
Mm.
Or you can reach, Starmer, right? Doesn't really matter, right? You can reach anyone. The question is, are you asking people in your circle for referrals? Are you asking that? Is there someone out there that you know might be sitting on cash? Let me ask you, Alan, because you said 100. Of these 100 people, let's say if each of those 100 people know another 100, that's 10,000.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
right?
sure. And some of these people have got money, I know. So
Yeah.
yes.
So my question is, let's say every 100 knows 100, that makes it 10,000. Do you think of these 10,000 people, maybe about 1% of them would be sitting on some decent cash?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
1% of 10,000 is actually 100 people.
Mm.
The only reason, guys, I have investors around me, and yes, I'll repeat this, sometimes the matching of the money availability does not match when you have the of the deal. That is the challenging bit for everyone, including me, right? However, the reason I have 12,000 plus contacts in my phone is because I am a referral person. When I speak with a person, my last question always is, who else do you know that might need or could do with help with what I do? Okay? Who would like to know more about growing a property portfolio? And they give me 2 or 3 or 4 names. Someone would give me a 5, someone would give me 10. I know literally people who have added more than 100 people in our WhatsApp community. I personally know people who have added more than 100 people from their contacts into our WhatsApp community. I'm giving you clues, guys. Raise your hand if you're getting clues here. Raise your hand if you're getting clues, right? It's what you call the most effective marketing tool ever, called WhatsApp. Please use it. When I send a message, it goes to 50,000+ people. About 12,000 on my contacts, the email list, the Facebook groups, the LinkedIn groups, the Telegram. Like I said, literally everything that you look at is well over 50,000 people. Okay? So we've got at any given time 200+ active finance cases because we provide finance. Those people who are getting finance from us, they approach me with money. I try and match them with a deal. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'd like to learn. If some of you if anyone here knows how to make this more effective, matching deal well investor, please reach out to me. Okay, but going back to raising money, which is what most people ask me, and I always tell them I find that the easiest bit, as in raising external money. I find that the easiest bit, I'll repeat that, raising external money is actually the easiest part of being in property business. Okay, once you learn persuasion skills, once you learn what is value add, as in really bringing value to the community. Raise your hand if you are getting some value from the session, from the stories I'm sharing. Here is something I'll tell you which is very interesting. Thank you, Alan. Thank you.
Jack?
Here is something very interesting that I learned. Yes, Rajesh.
You say about using WhatsApp. Do you use LinkedIn as well? Because I've got
I use
a lot of
everything.
connection. You lose everything.
I use everything, Rajesh. There's nothing that's available out there that I won't use. Today, we are using a tool called Restream, which is allowing us to go live on 4 different channels. Plus, Zoom makes it 5 different channels, giving us more exposure.
Okay, that's great.
Let me take everyone back a bit, okay? Here is why most people struggle. One, less action-oriented and more thinking. You don't need to sit there and think forever to make a decision. Sit there, analyze something for 5 or 10 minutes or as a SWOT analysis on a piece of paper. After that, there's no thinking, it's all action. And the second thing I observe is that most people do not bring enough value to the community. Okay? When I talk about value, I am talking about value as in what you see right now. And please, please try and see where I'm going with this, okay? When someone tells me something that I already know, I don't go and tell them I know. I tell them, thank you for reminding. Okay? Because it's in the reminding of the basics lies your success. Do the basics and you'll be fine. Alan, I'm going to come back to both of your challenges, okay? Let's deal with the money part now, okay?
Yeah.
If you create a WhatsApp group, one WhatsApp group, start with one, right?
Yeah.
One step at a time. You've seen PN community as in 2 WhatsApp communities.
Yeah.
Right? There's PN and there's 2 PN. And there's the third community called the Unicorn.
Yeah.
And then there's the LinkedIn groups. And then there's the Facebook groups, right? And then there is the newsletter on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the email list. And then there's the Telegram group. And then there's the what you call the broadcast list on the WhatsApp, which goes to over 10,000 people, Alan. Okay?
Yeah.
All this has happened only because I try and bring value. I keep myself humble. I don't expect anything, but I make sure that I add to my community, our community, and I nurture those relationships.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you do that for the next 12 months, I promise you that is bringing value to your community, keep inviting people and keep nurturing those relationships and don't expect anything. You will look back 12 months later and you will have people approaching you saying, I've got money. What shall I do with it?
Yeah.
So say that again, Jack. Can you just, if you reach out to people every day, did you say?
Every day, yeah. So I have 4 people that work for me at the moment, virtually, that are growing our community.
Okay.
Okay. Invite people. First create your community, then invite people, then bring value, and the 4th is don't expect anything. And wait, as in nurture the relationships, bring value and wait. And then see the magic after 12 months. You will have people approach you with money, say, I have 50 grand, 100 grand, a half a million. I have at least 6 or 7 people that I can think right now who have approached me with over £1 million in cash. Okay? That want to invest. Now, the challenging bit, like I said, I find is, Alan, which I think between you and me, we maybe bounce ideas and try and mitigate this challenge of matching deal with investor, right? We need to work on that.
Correct. Yes,
right?
yeah.
It's what you call 1% improvement, right? You keep improving 1% every day, every 2 days, every 3 days, and you can look back a few months later and we achieve that. But finding investor isn't very difficult because there are loads of people out there with unbelievable money, right? Doctors, engineers, scientists, C-level executives, founders of companies who have sold companies for millions plus, right? There are loads of people. Loads. You walk into the city, average income is 80 grand. That's just average income. Some of those people, quite a few of them, make a lot of money. They make $500,000 plus. Where do you think they're going to invest their money? The equity market is shit. If they can find a property expert who can help them grow that property, is like the cash pot, where do you think they're going to invest their money?
Yeah.
It's for you to reach out. If you are struggling to find investors, you're just not doing the basics of marketing. That is creating your community, inviting, nurturing, and growing that community, bringing value. You're just not doing that bit to be able to attract enough investors. Keep doing your events. Keep doing your events like these. Not very difficult, is it? 2 different laptops here. One is live with Restream, one is live with Zoom. And its back end is tail end. I think this session's tail end would probably reach about 4,000 to 5,000 people. I know that, right? Over the longer period, in about 12 months' time, I can look at this video and this reaches at least 4,000 to 5,000 people, right? That's the long tail of one video. That's taken me half a day, right? And then you keep inviting those people and nurturing those relationships, right? That's not rocket science. It's simple, right? One thing is bringing value means knowledge. That's what you need to gain by reading books, by taking trainings, by taking mentoring, by coming into these events that you see right now. Okay. Now, the second challenge, which is finding the right deal. Now, I learned this from, I don't want to give you the name, right? Some members know who I'm talking about, right? But the interesting thing that he said, and I always work on this, right? If you are going to bring me a deal, my first question is it on the market or not? If you tell me it's on the market, I am not even investing 1 second. My answer is no. Because 99% of the deals that are in the market are reverse engineered to leave barely 10 to 20% profit margin, which is not enough to be profitable. And that means that it is waste of time to be looking at deals that are online. I'm talking about development deals, conversion deals, refurb deals. I'll repeat this. You are wasting your time if you are looking at deals that are in the market, on the market. You need to learn how to find deals direct to the landlord. There is no one in the middle, and that there is less competition or near to no competition. Those are the deals that are actually going to be profitable. Okay? You are wasting your time if you're looking at deals on the market. I'm talking about, like I said, development deals, conversion deals, refurb deals, right? That's the deals I'm talking about. I'm not talking about commercial deals. Yes, you can even find commercial deals off market, I'm going to share with you what's happening here. Okay, what's happening behind the scene. So I was using Nimbus Maps, and after fiddling with it a bit, I got to a point where it now takes me about 1 minute to generate a lead, potential lead, for an asset management company. So what I mean by asset management company is, let's say if I'm looking to take over hotels, let's say a tired hotelier, 60 years old, have been running a hotel for the past 20 years, don't want to sell because he'll be hit with a very high capital growth bill. All he wants to do is rent or lease his hotel and sit on the passive income. Finding hotels like that, I can generate one lead, and I'm talking about criteria, right? I'm talking about 30 plus bedroom hotels, right? I'm not talking about small hotels, I'm talking about medium to large hotels, right? So we have here one of my colleagues called Manik, and he's sharing in the chat box our Telegram community. Feel free to join if you're active on Telegram. Okay. Clues, guys, clues. Can you see what's happening, right? It's inviting people, keep nurturing relationships, keep asking people to invite more people, and so on and so forth, right? Thank you, Monik, for that. So through Nimbus Maps, I found a way to find hotels that are over 30 rooms, our criteria. I don't want to take smaller hotels because they're not profitable when you put a manager. When you put a manager in a 30 plus bed hotel, it still is profitable, okay? And then being able to find blocks of 9 units or more. Let's say if you have 2 blocks of 9 units or more, you can put one manager and you can get them to manage and you can still be profitable. See where I'm going with this? Do not play with the single family AST space. That is a no-going zone. If someone stops paying you rent and you give them a tenancy agreement, you are done. They can sit there in your property for 2 years and you can't get rid of them. I'm sorry. Okay? I am a capitalist and I'm not going to have a tenant sitting at my property not paying me rent, right? I'm just not going to have that. Okay? I am not going to have any damn political party tell me that, your tenant can sit in your property and you still have to pay your mortgage and they don't have to pay you rent and you can go, kill yourself. No, I'm not going to do that. Okay? So use them for short-term lets. Okay? You take a block, you use it for Airbnb, Booking.com, Expedia, and 500,000 other channels, spare room, open rent, just so many of them out there, and you make a profit. Okay? That gives you cash flow. Do you need lots and lots of money for that? The answer is no. If let's say you acquire a 9 block flats, right? 9 flats in a block, right? The landlord is probably going to ask you 1 month's rent, 1 month's deposit, or 2 months rent, or 3 months rent, and 1 month's deposit. It's 10 grand or 20 grand. And you can borrow that money from friends, family, or external investors. Reach out to us if it's a profitable deal. We'll invest in your project. It's not very difficult, right? You can find these deals. We managed to find a way through Nimbus Maps to find one lead in a single minute, right? It takes 1 or 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes to find a lead. And we managed to fill a whole spreadsheet with like 136 plus leads in a period of like 3-4 days. Okay. And then we ended up filling another sheet with potential hotels that we can potentially approach and take over on lease basis, giving us the arbitrage, as in what we borrow from an investor and what we make into managing these assets. And then we keep acquiring in the middle of this. Not just that we manage it for others, we manage our own portfolio in the middle of that. And everything that you see gets delegated to a manager, right? Everything. All you do is you control the money. Now, here is a question for you. Would you like to learn how to find these direct to vendor deals?
Yeah.
That is development deals, conversion deals, refurb deals, management deals, as in blocks of flats that direct to landlord that you can potentially approach and acquire to manage yourself. The whole range. Would you like to learn how to acquire these deals directly with the landlord? Raise your hand if you want to do that, if you want to learn how to do that.
Yes.
Absolutely, Jack. Absolutely.
I will show you this on Land Insight and Nimbus Maps. In fact, just on Google, guys, this is so simple. Yes, Nimbus Maps and Land Insight are very, very technical, very, very good tools. Half of what you find on these tools, you can actually find on Google for free. If only you know where to look and what to look for. Let me give you an example. Has there ever been a situation where you came across this new company the first time, and after coming across this company, now you see the vans everywhere. Now you see the hoardings everywhere. Raise your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Now this company was always there. It just wasn't in your consciousness. It was always there. It just wasn't in your consciousness. The same law applies when you know where and what to look for. They're all there. All these deals are all over you. It's when you learn what to look for and where to look that you see them everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Raise your hand if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, you just do not know where to look for these deals, and not just where to look, but what exactly to look for in these deals. Okay. Now, here is the whole cycle that I want to take you through so you can see through a bit more. I can't cover the whole depth. It's impossible in a session, right? But I'll take you through the cycle of it, right? You first learn where to find deals. You don't go and approach these landlords. You negotiate the deal. Then you go and find an investor you pitch it to. Let's say if you don't have money. If you have your own money, great. You find an investor, you match it with an investor. You close the deal. Now, let me take a step back. Now, you know where to look for the deal. You know how to analyze the deal. You know how to speak with the landlord and negotiate the deal. You even negotiate the deal. You even find an investor. Here is where most people stop. They don't know how to close the deal, and they don't know how to make it profitable. If you are in that space of a block, right? Block as in you've learned a little bit where to find the deals. You've learned where, how to approach a landlord, or maybe even negotiate to some extent, but you just can't close the deals. Raise your hand if you're in that space. I want to see if I can see hands. Okay. You just don't know how to close these deals, right?
Ironic for me, considering I'm a salesperson.
Okay, so let me share with you why most people don't close deals. And there's two steps which most people find very difficult, right? Analyzing deals. My observation is they don't know how to analyze deals. They don't know how to close the deals with the landlord. And they don't know how to make it profitable. Okay? Analyzing deals is technical, right? Just simply a spreadsheet that you need to learn how to fill, right? How long would it take you to be able to analyze deal? I would say at least 6 to 12 months. Okay?
What, per property?
No, just the skill itself.
Oh, okay.
Just the skill itself. Learning to analyze a deal is a skill and a half. You're not going to learn the skill in a week, right? That doesn't happen, okay? Even if it's a small refurb deal, you still need to know where it's going to cost you, right? which beam needs to be moved, where the joists are rotten, and a whole bunch of other things, what you call opening the can of worms behind the walls. You need to learn all of that to be able to analyze a deal. Okay? If you want to learn how to analyze a deal, Monik, do I have you here? Yeah, Monik, can you share my WhatsApp number with everyone, as in my UK number? And if you WhatsApp me saying analyze a deal, I will take you through that process, exactly just that process of analyzing deals. Where to look for deals and analyze deals. If you are in the second phase where you don't just struggle to close the deal, which is persuasion skills, okay, I will send you videos where we are practicing persuasion skills between the team members, and then you can practice. Again, WhatsApp me, and I will be able to see through which stage that you struggle with. Okay?
Jack,
Yes.
the persuasion one, the video, is that in your, that's in your trainings, right?
Yes.
Which number is that, Jack?
Not one, Moro, not one, more than 10.
Because I was watching the one. I can't remember the number, Jack. I think it was I can't remember the number, Jack. There was one you were speaking to that guy that does rent to rent, Jack. I can't remember his name.
Muzzy.
Yes, Muzzy. Yeah, you were speaking to him and you guys were going through it. Yeah, I can't remember which number it is, Jack. So,
like I said, there's more than 10 plus videos in our internal trainings that you can watch on persuasion, right? Let me share something very interesting with you, okay? Persuasion skills is not sales, okay? This is where what most people get this wrong, right? Most people get this wrong. Persuasion is not about going and getting a yes from someone, okay? Persuasion is bringing a value to the table and then being able to prove that value. It's not selling something, okay? It's about being able to bring value and then being able to prove that value, as in, remember, everything is perception, right? When people look at me, they have a certain perception, right? Most people jump on a call with me. Before they jump on a call with me, they likely have watched a video, they've likely read something about me, they've seen something of value, something inspirational, something motivational, something that they've never heard, something they've never learned from someone else, some sort of value. And they approach me, and they have this most likely a perception about me, and then I try and help them a bit further, okay? You need to learn to create that perception, that trust first, okay? I'm not saying everyone trusts me. All I'm saying is that quite a few people in the PN community, in fact, I hope that a lot of people in the PN community trust me, okay? You're never gonna have everyone trust you, okay? In fact, you don't need that, okay? What you need is a few hundred people trust you and do business with you, and you can do really, really well, okay? And if you just create that trust, create that value, create that rapport, people don't invest in deals. People invest in people. When someone is going to invest in your project, right? They're not investing in a deal. They're investing in you. So you need to be able to build that trust. You need to be able to build that rapport. You need to be able to connect on an emotional level with that person. Emotional level. Like, when you speak with someone, right? If you don't connect on an emotional level with someone, the answer likely is going to be a no. Okay? It's not logical connection, it's emotional connection. Numbers come later. What comes first is, does that person trust you or not?
Yeah.
Okay? And that is what you need to focus. Like, that's where you need to focus more, right? But you might ask me, like, how does another person trust another person? Right? How does a person, human being, trusts another human being, right? My understanding is that when you talk about family, when you talk about someone they care about, as in finding a common ground to talk about something that they care about, not something you care about, it's when you build trust. And when you do that, you find that common ground and you talk about that common ground, and they can see a genuine person. Remember, people look for body language, people look for tone. They don't look at the word. Well, the words do matter, right? 70% of what you say, 36% or 34% of what you, your sound, and the rest is body language. The stats proven out there, right? So it's very little of what you say and a lot more of your body language. And can they look in your eyes and really trust you? Are you looking in their eyes while you're actually talking about yourself, your business, your idea, or anything? Can they actually trust you as a human being? That's what matters. That's persuasion. It's not sales. It's even persuasion isn't the best word. I call it serving. I find that word a lot more like you're being sensitive towards someone else's feelings. Okay? You're serving that person. If let's say you connect with an investor, let's say he's a doctor or engineer or a scientist or some sort of executive in a company, right? This guy probably doesn't have extra time. He's already very, very busy with his existing work. He's got money sitting in account. You're helping him grow his money pot, right? What else does he want? Nothing, right? Let's say he's got £500,000. A lot of doctors would have 200, 300, 400 grand sitting around, no problem at all, right? And you help them grow that portfolio or pot of money, and they're making money from their active income of being a doctor, right? They're happy. Raise your hand if you know what I mean. Because they don't have to work for this money. You're the one who's working for this money. Okay? You're working for this money, but you're making arbitrage on that. Please mute yourself if you have noise behind you, please.
Sorry. Oh, Jack. When you say arbitrage, is that the difference between what you earn from the asset and what you get from the investor when you say arbitrage? It's not the same as trading, is it?
Your understanding is right. Your wording was not the best. It's what you borrow from an investor, like how much you borrow it for. Let's say you borrow the money at 10% per annum and you make 20% on the project. That's 10% arbitrage.
10%, okay. All right.
Okay. Let's say you build a portfolio of building a £10 million portfolio isn't very difficult, right? And you're, let's say, sitting on a 5% arbitrage. Guys, that's £500,000 a year. That's just managing money, not managing properties, because a manager is in managing them for you. Remember, the arbitrage is 20%. Oh, sorry, the arbitrage is 10%. So even if you make 5% as arbitrage and you're managing a 10 million pound portfolio, you're making £500,000. And that's not very difficult. And that's passive income. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. If let's say you approach a landlord, let's say he's got a 200-room hotel. Okay? And let's say it's a tired landlord, just can't deal with the guests, can't deal with the staff anymore, just really, really fed up with his manager. What do you think he's going to do? Moro, can I open the mic with you and you answer this?
Sorry, Jack, can you repeat that? Sorry.
Yeah, so let's say if it's a hotel of a 200 room.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. The guy is, let's say, 60, 65 years old. He's been in the hospitality business for, let's say, 20 plus years, fed up, tired, ill, can't manage with the staff, can't just really fed up with the guests, can't even manage his manager anymore. What do you think he's going to do?
He has two options. One, he's either thinking, I want to go away because it's
Yeah.
you know, it's overwhelming him, or the other one is thinking, I wish an angel could come and help me out with this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I say help me out with this, Jack, I
Either
mean,
he sells.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you've
Either
got
he
it right,
sells,
Moro.
yeah.
You've got it right. You've got it right. See, he's only got two options, right? He's either going to lease it or he's going to sell it.
Yeah.
He sells it. He gets hit with a really hard capital appreciation bill.
Yeah, especially with the new
Capital gains, capital gains. So instead of selling, he is way better off just leasing it out and sit on the rental passive income.
Absolutely, and taking himself out of the managing aspect because he's overwhelmed.
Exactly. Just completely out. All he cares about is my rental coming into my account. You do whatever it is that's required, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You go in. It's a 200-room hotel. You go and manage that hotel. Let's say this hotel is worth 10 million. How much do you think you're going to make out of this?
Ooh, a 200-room hotel. Jack, I'll be honest, I have no idea because I know it's going to be in the highs. Let's say 10K, 20K, but I honestly don't know because it's it'll be high.
I'll give you a hypothetical figure, okay?
Okay.
If you're managing a 200-room hotel, you're likely going to make at least $500,000 plus.
Oh, there you go.
And that's with a manager managing it while you just look after the money and pay this guy his rental.
Wow.
Okay.
Jack, I have a question. Is managing hotel, and you know why I'm asking this, Jack, because of the rooms, is managing hotel that much different from managing a HMO?
No.
Okay.
Slightly different, but not massively different.
Okay. But the concept is the same. The idea is the same.
The concept is the same, yeah. Instead of having people at 6 months intervals or 12 months intervals, here you have people coming in on daily intervals.
Right.
Okay. Or if, let's say, you have a block, let's say someone is building a 100-room block, right? 100 flat block. Same concept, guys. Goes on Airbnb, goes on booking.com, goes on Expedia, and 500,000 other channels. Same concept. A block of 100 units, you take it from a landlord on a lease or rental basis or contractual basis. You manage it for them. How much do you think you can make from each deal?
You just said 500, so around
500 from a 200-room hotel.
Yeah.
What about a 100-room block of flats or 100 flats in a block?
100 flats in a block. Yeah, about 200 grand, 300 grand, Jack. And I'm going, Jack, based on, let's say if rent is, 2,000 or whatever it is we're doing.
That is right, yes.
Yeah.
You can make, as a bare minimum, you can make 500 from each flat a month.
Yeah.
I'll let you do the numbers, guys.
Yeah.
But Jack, is that rent to rent or as they're taking it on as a lease? Or
You can call it rent to rent. You can call it lease basis. You can call it option basis. You can call it whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter. All you're doing is you're managing an asset.
Yeah. Is that the same as, although you're saying hotels, that's almost the same as service accommodation, or is that different?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is service accommodation, yes.
You can have 500,000 different terminologies. It doesn't really matter, guys. Okay. What matters is I'm talking about being able to find deals like that, being able to manage it for someone else, build a portfolio of passive income, then make money and buy your own portfolio, add it into the existing portfolio that you're managing it for others. Getting to make 100 grand is a piece of cake, as long as you know where to look, what to look for, how to negotiate, how to close, how to make it profitable, how to rinse and repeat.
Yeah, I hear you.
If I showed you how to generate these leads like one in a minute, if I showed you literally holding hands on how to go and negotiate these deals with a landlord, like letters, templates, pitch as in exact wordings that you need to use to be able to negotiate. And then when you get it, what to look for to make it profitable, how to attract external investors, the whole journey. I'm not just talking about managing these assets. I'm also talking about refurb deals. I'm also talking about conversions. I'm talking about development deals and planning gain deals, the whole shebang, right? I have been taking trainings. I've been taking mentoring behind the scene. I've been closing these deals behind the scene, like literally that I can show you.
Jack,
Okay.
Would that be part of the inner circle that people
It is,
remember?
Rajesh, yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I'm part of the inner circle. Okay, that's great.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Okay. So those who are not a part of our inner circle that have joined here and want to join our inner circle, where I will actually take you through some of these strategies a lot more in depth, please WhatsApp us on 07-886-962647. That's 07-886-962647, and WhatsApp us as in session, and I will book you in for a call on how you can join our inner circle. Okay. But when you learn this process on how to create passive income, as in acquiring a certain kind of asset that will help you generate passive income, guys, please remember, it's not about acquiring single units. Because when you acquire a single unit, you have to manage it yourself. That's active income, that's not passive income. But when you acquire more than 9 units in a block, more than 30-bedroom hotels, that you can put a manager on it and you don't have to do the operations. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. Operations, looking after the place, cleaning, getting bookings, dealing with the guest, dealing with the cleaning, dealing with the conversion, dealing with the refurb, applying for planning permissions, the whole shebang of operations. You can hire other people that can potentially help you with it. Yes, you still have to know all of this. You can hire people because that asset is a medium-sized asset that will help you pay the manager and allows you the freedom of time. The topic, the subject of today's session. Raise your hand what I'm talking about, please, if you know what I'm talking about. Because when you acquire a single unit, that's active income, you have to work for it. But when you acquire a certain kind of asset, you can hire a manager that's going to help you manage that portfolio or the asset or that project, right? You don't have to work every single minute of your life. You can hire people that are going to look after the project, and you work on, or you look after the money, and that gives you what you call the time freedom, guys.
Are you like an asset manager in that case? Do you need to build a team?
I am, yes.
Yeah, I know you are. I'm just saying, with this, what you're suggesting, would you be
Yes.
like an asset manager rather than just like an investor?
You eventually do become like an asset manager.
Yeah, no, it's a good strategy.
Okay, but do not acquire single units, because when you acquire single units, that becomes active income. That means you have to attend the guests. You have to make sure that the cleaners are coming. You become actively involved, and that means that you'll be working every single day of your life.
So you bought a job basically rather than a business.
A job. When you acquire blocks, when you acquire hotels, when you acquire projects, even a single unit refurb project that's going to make you 100 grand or $500,000, that's still good because you can do that project in 3 months, walk away with the profits, and invest it into buying more assets for yourself. When you take a conversion project and you make $500,000 from that project, you can take that $500,000 profit, buy your own more portfolio, and then hire a manager to manage that for you, creating more passive income. You want to learn more in depth to all of this, WhatsApp me with a session and I'll book you in for a call. We'll jump on a quick call. I'll guide you through it, the next few steps, and then invite you to join our inner circle, which I believe has unbelievable return on money invested if you attend the sessions and put the work in at the back of that. If you don't attend the sessions, I don't think anyone can help you. Or if you don't put the work in at the back of that, no one can help you guys. You got to learn and you got to put the work in to be able to do this. It's about learning and doing, and not just learning and not just sitting at home and not doing anything, because that is also a decision.
Absolutely.
All right. just going to go through the names that we have here in attendance, right? We have Anara. She's in our inner circle. Latvin, I think Latvin is in the inner circle as well. I can't remember. Latvin, how are you? Open your mic if you can hear me.
I'm okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're okay. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. Do you have any questions?
Not at the moment. I'm just listening.
Okay, that's good. We have Farouk, he's in the inner circle, and then we have Ahmed. Ahmed, if you want to open your mic, if you have a question, I would be happy to answer that for you.
I'm okay for now, Jack. I'm just listening.
All right. I
Thanks.
hope this session has been useful, helpful.
Yes, it has, yeah.
Thank you. Alan, I don't know. Alan is here. He was listening and he was here.
I think his daughter came or something. There, she had to
Yeah,
jump.
something like that. He's working on some good deals. I hope he stops flows a bit more. So we have, who is next? Mark. Mark, good to see you, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, hi. Thank you
Hi.
for extolling. I came across this event through one of my WhatsApp groups. As you know, I run hundreds of them.
Yes. So for
Yeah.
those guys who don't know, Mark runs a network beyond comprehension. Like I was a part of his group for a long period of time. I'm likely going to join back, but I was a part of his group for a long period of time. And he's got a massive network. So reach out to him if you are looking to grow your network a bit more, and he will help you. And he's very, very cost effective as well. So reach out to him. But do you have any questions that you want to ask, Mark?
No, I've just been sitting here absorbing what you've been saying. It's been very useful and very interesting. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Natasha, she's in the inner circle. Natasha, I haven't spoken with you for some time. How are you? How's things on your end?
Hello, Jack. I'm good, thank you.
Do you have any questions?
Yes, my question is on appraisals.
Yes.
Is there a template that we can?
Yes, there is a template. I've shared it in the group many times. Please ask me again tomorrow, and I will be happy to share it again.
The template that we had in the group was on developments.
That is right. You want one for like asset management?
Yes, please.
It's very, very, very simple. Ask me tomorrow. I will create it for you in 60 seconds.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. But just do it tomorrow. Remember, I'm in Delhi.
Yes.
It is almost 20 to 12 at night.
Wow.
So I'll be very tired after the session. Ask me tomorrow, please, Natasha.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, Farouk, bye. How are you? Do you have any questions? I don't know if you can hear me. He was my neighbor, and he's also a part of our inner circle. Next is Nosy. Nosy, how are you? Good to see you.
Oh, hi, Jack.
Hi.
Hi.
Do you have any questions that I can help you with?
No, I don't have any questions. I was just listening in and taking notes. Yeah, I don't have any questions.
That is good. Thank you. I hope this session was helpful.
It definitely was, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nosy. And if you want to learn more, Nosy, just send me a WhatsApp message and I will see if I can help you further.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks.
No problem. And
Hi,
Rajesh,
Jack.
do you have any questions?
As you know, I ask a lot of questions.
Please do. Please do.
I'm just I think I don't know his name. He's just put a message on there, so I think it's Manic. I want to discuss this more further with you, so I'm going to book a call for next week. With but no, it's been a really eye-opening session, especially now that you've been in going into depth about this asset management. I think this is something that would really help me as well. So yeah, but thank you for the session.
All right, thank you, Rajesh. Renuka, good to see you. How are you?
Jack, thank you for connecting with me as well. And I'm so pleased that I joined. I'm very good, and I have messaged you already with the UK number, so I
Okay.
couldn't wait to connect with you. And I don't know how to join your circle, nor any other community, so please guide me on that.
I will do that. Anything I can
have
help you with right now.
I would like to know more about what you have discussed briefly. I would rather say the management. I can tell you I've been to many other training companies, but not much learned. So other than losing the money, truthfully telling you. So it's so I would like to. I don't want to waste any more of anybody's time. So I would like to know something practically doing it. So having that knowledge, I'm sure that I can certainly gain a lot of knowledge from you. So I'm pleased that I have connected, because everything you talk about practically doing things, you know what I mean? It's not that read another 10 pages or here is another folder. You said like, which I have taken a notes as well. You said, you know how to first of all joining the community. Then I totally agree that many of us, that we know the people that who has some money, but that we need to be with them and build the trust, and the money will come. But finding the deal is my best thing that I wanted to talk to you, how we can find without paying any softwares to start with.
I can
And
show you on Google. There's lots of things that you can find on Google alone.
yeah. And also management. You mentioned about the service accommodation, whatever it is, we can call it Airbnb. How can we managing in a sense, like, you can hire people to manage it, but how can we hold off those? I do have many contacts. I have an investors, but I would like to go the next level I didn't have any cash flow yet. I'm still working. So how can I go to the next level to literally money drop into my business account? That's what I'm trying to do, Jack. So show that we can have a conversation, how I can travel basically to succeed. So I'm an action taker, but never had someone who could just tell me what to do, just go and do this. So this is a very good opportunity. Very coincidentally, I found you. So I thought, you know what, I must join. And here I am. And I messaged you already, Jack. So please come back to me the time and the day.
I will do. I will check the messages tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Just to make you aware that I work till 2 o'clock. So anytime after 2 UK time.
No problem at all. When I message you, whenever you get a reply back, that's not a problem. But yeah,
Perfect.
I will. If you message me on WhatsApp already, I will come back to you tomorrow and I'll book you in for a call. We'll go from there. I'm pretty sure we would be able to help you.
Great. Couldn't wait to speak to you, honestly.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
Guys, I'm just looking at. So I'm looking at. Before I go any further with people, right? Please, guys, please, write this down if you're not writing this down, okay? Read or listen to books every single day. That is personal, professional development books. Every single day. Take trainings, take mentoring. Literally, your life depends on all of this. I started the session by saying I went to a seminar back in 2003. Me being arrogant at that age, 23 years old, and ignorant, did not take that course. I would have been worth at least 3-4 times more in equity portfolio if I had joined that course. I didn't do that. It's not about joining courses. Now, let me go to the third step. It's not about joining courses. It's actually learning one thing and then going and applying it. Actually doing the work, guys. If you don't do the work, I'm sorry, no one on the planet can help you, okay? It's learning, applying, and keep optimizing every step of the way. That's your pitch, that's your analysis deals, that's your technical skills, that's leadership skills, as in leading your team, your builders, your architects, your planners, your consultants, your plumbers, your electricians. Doesn't really matter. You need to learn how to lead that team effectively, right? It's about persuasion, as in serving the community. It's literally about doing the work. If you learn all of this and 6 months later you still not created your WhatsApp community and added me in there, I'll be the first one to join. And if you've not created your Facebook community or your LinkedIn community or your Telegram community or your email list, right? This all goes to what? Waste. It's about applying that in real life. It's about bringing value to your community. Okay, that's what the game is. Remember, property is just twofold: bringing the money, bringing the deal. It's not very difficult as long as you learn the skills. I always say this, right? Once you know where to look and you close the first deal, which is the hardest one. First one is really hard, I must say, okay? Once you close the first deal, the second one becomes a bit more easier. And the third one will feel like walking into Sainsbury's or Tesco's and buying something. I'll repeat that. The first one is the hardest one. Second one is still slightly hard. The third one will feel like a piece of cake. Okay? As long as you start applying what you're learning here and on other different channels. Okay? I can see Tempe, the last Tempe. Could you open your mic, please, and tell us about yourself? All right, I'm not sure if you can hear us, but this is today's session. Like I said, I want to conclude this session with more like, okay, learn, apply, keep optimizing. It's about closing deals. If you don't close deals, you're not going to make money. That is what's at the core. It's about serving your community, building trust to a level where people are prepared to give you the money. People are prepared to work alongside you as in landlords, JVing with you, or working on a rental basis with you, or commercial contract basis, or lease contract basis, a JV contract basis. Doesn't really matter. They trust you enough to work alongside you, that you manage the property for them, or you project manage a project with them, or you actually do the whole development yourself, that they trust you on the journey. That's what all the skills are required to be able to build a passive income where you don't have to worry about time, right? Like literally, like I said, I started the session by saying, I've been in Delhi for the past 14 months. I've lived 2 months of that in London. Even those 2 months, I wasn't really working, just here and there, a little bit here and there, you know. And the only reason I'm able to do that, look after my family, look after, spend more time with the family, is because of the net rental passive income that we have, the arbitrage we have at the back of that. And the only reason I'll be able to get to this point is really just learning and applying every step of the way. You keep optimizing, you keep improving 1% every day. You look back 365 days later and you've improved 365%. That's what the game is. It's not something that you're going to build in a few months. It's a long-term game. Play the long-term game, play the long-term well, build the long-term wealth for your family. I mean, I was talking, I'm going to conclude this, right? I was talking to the missus, and I said to her, if I don't work anymore in my life, I don't have to, right? I'm already like, I don't believe in retiring. I'm not the kind of person who could retire, but I can just stop working and not worry because there's enough income coming in, right? And the only way you can get there is by skilling up, right? Skill up. When you skill up, you scale up naturally, not the other way around. There's a lot of people try and scale up without skilling up and just never works. It's about skilling up and then scaling up, and that's a natural progression towards scaling up. Okay. I'm going to leave you with that thought. Have an absolutely amazing evening, and I'll see you guys all very, very soon.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Jack. Thank you.
Thank
It
you.
was very
Thank you.
beneficial.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Thank
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for